American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that.
Stan culture can be quite intense. For instance, imagine someone going to the extreme of stealing their favorite streamer's water bottle at a convention, or getting a tattoo inspired by a YouTuber's hair. It's certainly a phenomenon worth examining.
Girl tattooed Drake on her forehead. It was love. I mean, it's crazy. It's surreal. I don't even want to look at it anymore because it's super surreal, you know? Yeah.
Celebrities have been admired for ages, and in moderation, this admiration isn't necessarily harmful. It's natural to find inspiration in others. However, when large groups begin idolizing the ultra-powerful, treating them as heroes, it gets concerning. This sentiment rings particularly true for a certain tech billionaire who's all over the news lately. He's the CEO of a major tech company, known for his active presence on Twitter and innovative contributions to the car industry, including the launch of cars that made headlines for unexpected reasons. Recently, he made waves by acquiring a major online platform. While some view him as the embodiment of the elitism he's criticized for, others see him as a visionary working for the people, aiming to push humanity beyond Earth. But what's the real story behind this image?
Offer me power. I don't care. So you just don't care.
Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. Raised by his mother May, a Canadian model and dietitian, and his father Errol, an engineer with diverse interests, Elon's upbringing was one of privilege. His family's wealth grew significantly when his father acquired a stake in a Zambian emerald mine. Though Elon has downplayed this aspect of his past, his father has openly discussed the family's affluent lifestyle. Growing up, Elon had access to the best education and healthcare, advantages not available to all during apartheid in South Africa. Despite his privileged background, his family life was complicated. He has described his father as a difficult person and regrets living with him after his parents divorced.
It was not a happy childhood. My father has serious issues.
Elon moved to Canada as a teenager, using his mother's nationality to obtain a visa, and later relocated to the US. He attended the University of Pennsylvania, earning degrees in physics and economics. He briefly pursued a PhD at Stanford, but dropped out to join the dot-com boom, drawn by the success of companies like Netscape and his love for computers and science fiction. This decision marked the beginning of his remarkable career in Silicon Valley. After a lackluster sales pitch from a Yellow Pages representative during his internship, Elon Musk, alongside his brother Kimball, recognized the potential for online directories. With initial funding primarily from their father Errol, they launched Zip2, aiming to provide online city guide software to newspapers. Despite its seemingly mundane nature, the concept was innovative at the time, though it's likely someone else would have developed it eventually. During its early days, Elon tried to impress investors by housing a smaller computer inside a larger casing to give the illusion of a more advanced system. This was the beginning of what some might see as a pattern of exaggeration throughout his career. Zip2 eventually received a $3 million investment from a venture capital firm on the condition that Elon step down as CEO, reflecting doubts about his leadership. Elon's coding skills, largely self-taught, were also questioned as new programmers had to extensively rewrite his initial work. Despite his passion, his management style was criticized, with allegations of him expecting staff to work excessively long hours. However, his persistence paid off when Zip2 was sold to Compaq in 1999 for $200 million, earning Elon a $22 million payout from his 7% share. He invested part of his new wealth into a high-profile, uninsured million-dollar car, which he famously totaled soon after buying. This incident was part of his broader effort to cultivate a public persona that sometimes seemed more important to him than the actual impact of his ventures. Elon's next venture, X.com, aimed to innovate in online banking.
So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry.
I do not fit the picture of a banker.
Raising $50 million is a matter of making a series of phone calls.
Despite his promises, the platform struggled with technical flaws, including a severe security lapse that could have allowed unauthorized financial transactions. His leadership was again questioned, and internal dissatisfaction led to significant staff departures. Ultimately, X.com merged with Confinity, which had developed PayPal. Although Elon initially led the merged entity, he was ousted in favor of Peter Thiel, following concerns about his transparency and financial management. This shift in leadership occurred abruptly as Elon was removed while on his honeymoon, demonstrating the high stakes and cutthroat nature of Silicon Valley entrepreneurship. In discussing PayPal, there are differing opinions about Elon Musk's tenure as CEO. Some believe that if Musk had remained in this position for 6 more months, it could have been disastrous for the company. Despite these opinions, Musk retained his shares and ultimately profited approximately $180 million when PayPal was acquired by eBay in 2002. However, his actual role in PayPal's operational success is often seen as minimal. Moreover, Musk was not a founder of PayPal, although he has sometimes implied otherwise, portraying himself as a more central figure than he might have been. Turning to Tesla,
He wasn't the founder in the sense of he wasn't, we started it.
I'm not sure why he has to also say that he was a founder when he wasn't. I don't understand
there's
that.
a widespread misconception that Musk was a founder of the company. In reality, Tesla Motors was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in July 2003. Musk joined the company later, in February 2004, with an investment of $6.5 million, and he initially served as chairman of the board. His more influential role began when he assumed the position of CEO. Musk's need for recognition was highlighted when Tesla's original founders failed to mention him in a New York Times interview. Musk reacted by threatening to sever his ties with Tesla unless a correction was made to acknowledge his role, showcasing his insistence on being recognized as a pivotal figure in the company. This tendency was further exemplified in 2007 when Musk ousted Eberhard, leading to a series of lawsuits that were eventually settled outside of court.
Can you describe the moment that you realized you could no longer be part of Tesla?
No.
Is there anything you can say about why you left?
I was voted off the island, and in a rather rude way, it wound up with some lawsuits and some settlements, and it's history now. Yeah, so I can't say a lot about it.
Despite presenting himself as a visionary leading the charge for affordable electric vehicles, Musk's record at Tesla has been mixed. The company has faced criticism for the environmental impact of its lithium mining operations necessary for its batteries. These operations contribute to soil degradation, water shortages, biodiversity loss, and even increase in global warming, contradicting the environmentally friendly image Musk promotes. Additionally, Tesla's Model S has encountered significant issues, including battery failures and a propensity to catch fire. Reports in 2017 suggested that nearly 90% of Teslas needed remedial work after leaving the production line, including serious safety concerns with the autopilot system, which was so unreliable that it could be tricked with a simple piece of fruit. Despite these challenges, Musk's leadership has propelled Tesla into the mainstream, forcing the broader automotive industry to accelerate their own electric vehicle programs. Yet, Tesla's internal practices, particularly concerning worker safety and operational safety standards, have frequently come under scrutiny. Tesla's history of safety violations and the ongoing issues with its autopilot system involved in numerous accidents have sparked investigations and lawsuits, highlighting the complexities and contradictions of Musk's leadership. On April 16, 2018, Reveal News, a nonprofit investigative journalism organization, reported numerous unreported employee injuries at Tesla's Fremont, California factory, contradicting the company's claims of improved safety. Not reporting serious injuries, such as inhalation injuries from toxic glue, is illegal, as these incidents should be logged on government-mandated reports. However, when reminded by journalist Jessica Huseman that Reveal News is a nonprofit without advertisers, Musk dismissed the journalists as rich kids in Berkeley who were too influenced by their political science professors. Tesla accused Reveal News of being an extremist organization allied with union supporters, aiming to spread disinformation. Reveal's report was based on medical documents, OSHA records, 911 calls, and Tesla's own injury logs, involving interviews with former safety team members and numerous employees. The report described a chaotic factory environment where production speed compromised safety, resulting in injuries like forklift accidents, electrical fires, and incidents with machinery named after X-Men characters. The total reported injuries amounted to about 722 in 1 year, with 3 times more OSHA violations than the 10 largest U.S. plants combined. Further concerns were raised about safety measures in the factory, such as the absence of yellow hazard marks, which Musk reportedly disliked along with the sound of forklifts reversing. The lead safety professional at the General Assembly line claimed that expressing concerns could lead to job loss. Musk's approach to safety was linked to numerous injuries, and despite promises to meet with injured employees and work on the factory floor, these commitments were reportedly unfulfilled. The situation escalated when Musk defied public health orders during COVID-19, leading to over 450 cases at the factory in 2021, contradicting his earlier prediction of 0 new cases by April 2020. Despite these issues, Tesla, like other manufacturers, has faced criticism, but not to the extent of other CEOs being idolized as visionary leaders. Reports of racism at Tesla further tarnished its image, with allegations of black employees facing harsher punishments and discriminatory practices, which Tesla has largely dismissed while highlighting its contributions to sustainability. Despite these controversies, Tesla and SpaceX have thrived, with Tesla's market value suggesting it is too significant to fail. However, issues with Musk's projects, including a rocket launch that proceeded despite a predicted one in 3 success rate and resulted in an explosion, raise questions about the broader implications of his leadership and the operational practices at his companies.
Soul destroying. It's like acid on the soul. It's horrible. This is, I think, finally, there's something that I think could solve the goddamn traffic problem.
On a day in 2016, stuck in traffic, Elon Musk envisioned a future with less congestion, dreaming up an underground tunnel system as a solution. This system, distinct from subways, would exclusively accommodate Teslas, aiming to transport people more rapidly from point A to point B. Critics, however, have labeled it a less efficient and more costly version of existing subway systems, highlighting its limited capacity and describing it as a dangerous and uncomfortable death trap. Musk's approach, which involves constructing an entirely new tunnel system rather than investing in existing public transportation, has been costly and slow to develop. Currently, the only operational tunnel is a modest installation exiting a Las Vegas convention center, far from the expansive network initially promised. Elon Musk's history of unfulfilled promises spans various ambitious projects, from Tesla battery swapping to the projection of 1 million robo-taxis by 2020 and promises of a self-driving Model 3 to futuristic ventures like connecting human brains to computers and colonizing Mars, a decade-old promise still unmet. His tendency to set grandiose goals often garners significant funding and media attention, but has also led to legal troubles, such as being sued by the SEC for misleading tweets about taking Tesla private at $420 a share, a plan he never intended to pursue. Musk's public persona is crafted around being the innovative billionaire, with appearances on shows like Young Sheldon and The Simpsons, and public appearances at events like the Met Gala and hosting a notably poor episode of SNL. His attempts to maintain a favorable image are juxtaposed with actions that suggest a primary focus on self-promotion rather than altruistic goals. For instance, his significant investment in buying Twitter contrasts starkly with his lesser charitable contributions, such as a $1 million donation to tree planting compared to the $166 million lawsuit against a whistleblower. Musk completed a $44 billion acquisition of Twitter on October 23, 2022, and immediately made drastic changes, including firing top executives and announcing plans to reduce the workforce by up to 75%, a number later adjusted to about 50%. This resulted in over 3,700 layoffs, affecting various departments and leading to chaotic operational disruptions, like employees being locked out of systems during critical meetings. These actions led to widespread criticism and prompted Twitter's founder, Jack Dorsey, to express regret over the company's rapid expansion. The situation at Twitter has drawn significant concern from regulatory bodies like the FTC, particularly after key security personnel left the company. Musk's management style at Twitter has been characterized by impulsive decisions and public disputes with employees, further complicating the company's stability and leading to questions about his capability to manage such a complex entity effectively. As one user summarized, Musk often declares things he knows little about, is corrected by an employee who then gets fired, and Musk then presents the ideas as his own. This pattern is reflective of his career. Yet Musk seems less concerned about internal issues that could cost the company and more focused on addressing non-existent problems. He lifted an indefinite work-from-home order to enforce a 40-hour workweek in person while implementing questionable changes. These include content moderation tweaks and adding long-form text attachments to tweets, a feature that already exists through TwitLonger, Yet Musk's changes pretend it's a novelty. The most visible change under Musk's leadership at Twitter has been the modification of the verification process. Traditionally, a checkmark on Twitter and other platforms confirms the identity of public figures to prevent impersonation. Musk upended this by introducing a plan to charge users $8 for a checkmark, suggesting that this fee would increase tweet visibility, essentially monetizing visibility on the platform. Reports indicate that unverified users could be segregated on the site, similar to how Musk has monetized environmental compliance through carbon credits. This change has positioned free speech behind a paywall, ensuring only financially committed users or impersonators who find humor in the system can maintain visibility. This push for paid subscriptions seems driven by Musk's need to offset the financial losses from his obligated purchase of Twitter. His takeover led to a significant drop in advertising revenue, where Twitter earns 90% of its income due to an increase in controversial tweets and dubious public statements by Musk himself. This fallout likely contributed to a mass departure of advertisers, reluctant to associate with the platform's new direction. Musk's management has brought Twitter to a point where bankruptcy has become a plausible outcome, as he himself has hinted. His $44 billion purchase, at over twice the company's value, reflects a questionable business decision given the immediate operational and reputational challenges that followed. Despite these controversies, Musk retains a significant public following, which he has used aggressively against critics, whether accusing a journalist of corruption without evidence or derogatorily labeling a rescuer in a high-profile cave mission. His actions, from threatening to sue a whistleblower for $160 million to bizarre interactions involving bribes of vehicles or horses, paint a picture of a man who leverages his wealth and influence irresponsibly. Yet despite all the ethical and managerial missteps, Musk's popularity persists, supported by a fan base that overlooks his flaws. His casual internet demeanor and involvement in popular culture, from cameos to meme sharing, bolster his relatable billionaire image, distracting from the more serious implications of his actions and business practices. This dissonance raises questions about the sincerity of Musk's intentions and whether his innovative public persona is merely a facade for more self-serving ambitions.